work for a trucking company. Been with the company for 4 years. I have a perfect record, never been written up, never been late for work, never called in sick, nothing. I got a fine 2 weeks ago, and the company wrote me up and suspended me for a week, unpaid, for a first offense. Can you write you up and suspend you for first offense?
Well, John, at the end of the day, let me start off with this unpaid suspension. A lot of people don't understand that. An unpaid suspension is actually illegal. An employer generally does not have a right to put an employee on an unpaid suspension. A paid suspension is different. An unpaid suspension usually results in what we call a constructive dismissal. An employer can't decide not to pay you even if you've done something wrong. So with respect to this employee, if in fact he did something wrong, the employer has to make its own determination, and yeah, he may be disciplined, but he cannot be suspended without pay. So he may have a choice here, which is to accept this suspension without pay, go back to work, or he can treat that as a constructive dismissal. The problem with him accepting this unpaid suspension is once he's accepted it, he's given them the right to do it again in the future. So in the future, if he does something wrong, they could potentially again suspend them without pay. So it's illegal to suspend the first time without pay, and an employer should make its own determination. If he got a ticket, that may not be enough. They actually have to determine that the ticket was valid, that there's a reason to discipline him, and only then can they impose discipline, but not a suspension without pay.
So until they've determined if the ticket was valid, if it was him, if they suspend him without pay, they've kind of said he's guilty before he's actually been found guilty.
Yeah, certainly if they're investigating.
Right.
So we want to determine if you did something wrong. In the meantime, we're going to suspend you without pay. So you're punishing someone in order to determine if they should be punished. That's literally putting the cart before the horse. Right. So you cannot do that. If you're going to suspend someone pending an investigation, then it has to be a suspension with pay. Anything else is improper.